everyone, I'm Amit from Bcaed 1B, and for today's video, I'm going to continue the discussion that talk about pollution and its factor. So, temperature. Temperature is the measure of hotness or coldness expressed in terms of any several scales, including Fahrenheit and Celsius. It also indicates the direction in which heat energy will spontaneously flow from hotter body to colder body. Different temperatures are noted in different parts of temperate cyclone. It is because of their origin due convergence of two thermally constructing air masses. There are different parts of temperate cyclone. The first part is the southern part of cyclone, which is record higher temperature because of the dominance of warm air. The second is the northern, eastern, northern, and northern western, which is record low temperature because of the dominance of cold polar air masses. The third one is the western part, which is record lowest temperature. Sources, region, and track movements. The areas frequented by temperate cyclone mostly lie in the middle and high latitude, extended between 350 to 650 latitudes in both of hemispheres. These cyclones move on average in easterly direction. The cyclones moving inland despite and are occluded at the windward western slope of the Rocky Mountain. Sa origin of temperate cyclone, though the formation and develop of temperate cyclone is a quick process, but it is passes through a series of successive stages. The period of cyclone from its inception to its termination, it is called the life cycle of cyclone, which is completed through 6 successive stages. The first stages involve the convergence of two air masses of contrasting physical properties and direction. Initially, the air masses, it is warm and cold, move parallel to each other and its statuary front in forms. It is called as initial stage. The second stage it is also called as incipient stage, during which is the warm and cold air masses penetrate into the theories of each other, and thus a wave-like front is formed. The third stage this is the mature stage when the cyclone is fully developed and its supports become almost circular. And the fourth stage, the warm sector is narrowed, is extended due the advancement of cold front and warm front, as the cold front comes nearer to the warm front. The fifth stage starts with the occlusion of cyclone, when the advancing cold front finally overtakes the warm front and the occluded front is formed. The last one, sixth stage, warm sector completely disappear, occluded front is eliminated, and mutantly cyclone dies out. Tropical cyclone. Cyclones develop in the regions lying between the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer are called tropical cyclones, which are not regular and uniform like extratropical or temperate cyclones. There are numerous forms of these cyclones, which vary considerably in shape, size, velocity, and weather conditions. The weather conditions of low latitudes, mainly rainfall regimes, are largely controlled by tropical cyclones. There are general characteristics of tropical cyclones. The size of tropical cyclones varies considerably. Big cyclones move at the speed of about 32 km per hour, while hurricanes attain the velocity of 180 km per hour or more. Tropical cyclones become more vigorous over the ocean but become weak and feeble while moving around land areas. The center of the cyclone is characterized by extremely low pressure. Tropical cyclones are not characterized by the temperature variation in their different parts because they do not have different fronts. There are no different rainfall cells, hence each part of the cyclones yield rainfall. Tropical cyclones are not always mobile. Normally, they move from east to west under the influence of trade winds. Tropical cyclones are confined to a particular period of the year. Example, summer session. There are types of tropical cyclones. Generally, they are divided into four major types: tropical cycle disturbance or easterly waves, tropical depression, tropical storms, hurricanes, or typhoons. Origin of tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones develop when the following requirements are fulfilled. There should be continuous supply of abundant warm and moist air. Tropical cyclones originate over warm ocean having surface temperature of 27 Celsius. Higher value of Coriolis force is required for the origin of these cyclones. They are associated with the Intertropical Convergence or ITC, which extends from 50 to 300 latitudes during the summer session. There should be anticyclonic circulation at the height of 9,000 to 15,000 mm above the surface disturbance. Distribution of tropical cyclones. There are six major regions of the tropical cyclone. First region is the West Indies, Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean Sea. The second is the Western North Pacific Ocean, including the Philippines Islands, China Sea, and Japanese Island. The third is the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. The fourth is the Eastern Pacific coastal region of Mexico and Central America. The fifth one is the South India Ocean of Madagascar or Malaga Sea. The last one is the Western South Pacific Ocean in the region of Samoa and Fiji Island in the east and north coast of Australia. Environmental impact of tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclones are very severe disastrous natural hazards which inflict heavy loss to human lives and property in terms of destruction of buildings, transport system, water and power supply, disruption of communication, destruction of standing agricultural crops, domestic and wild animals, natural vegetation, private and public institutions, and etc. Through damages caused by high-velocity winds, floods, and storm surge. Anticyclone. Anticyclone is such a wind system which highest air pressure at the center and lowest at the outer margin, and winds blow from the center outward in clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Thus, anticyclones are high-pressure systems and more common in the subtropical high-pressure belts, but are practically absent in the equatorial regions. Anticyclones were classified into warm anticyclones and cold anticyclones by Hansel in 1909. The anticyclone characterized by the following properties. They are usually circular in shape. The difference of pressure between the center and the periphery of anticyclone ranges between 10 to 20 MB. They are much larger in size and area than temperate cyclone. Anticyclone follow cyclones. They are moved very sluggishly. The average velocity of the anticyclones is 30 to 50 km per hour. The winds descend from above at the center of dust. Weather becomes clear and rain. Less because the descending winds cause atmospheric stability. The temperature in anticyclones depends on weather, nature of air masses, and humidity of the air. The sixth is that anticyclones do not have front. Wind system and temperature. Wind system is not fully developed in anticyclones because of weak pressure gradient. On an average, wind circulation is the divergent system wherein winds spread in all directions from the high pressure center to low pressure periphery. The center of characterized by the light breeze. These arise due to the descent of either polar cold air mass or the warm tropical air mass. Cold anticyclones are associated with the extremely low temperature and they cause cold waves during winter season. But then when they were come in summer session, weather becomes pleasant. The shape and size of anticyclones are generally of circular shape but are very large in size. They become so large in their size that diameters become 9,000 kilometers. The weather conditions of anticyclones are rainless and the sky is free of clouds because of the fact that descending air in the center of anticyclone is warm up and dry adiabatic rate due to the subsidence. This causes right temperature which reduces normal lapse rate of temperature, with the result of stability of air increase resulting into marked increase in the aridity of air. Landslide. Landslides are caused by the disturbances in the natural stability of a slope. They can accompany heavy rains or follow drought, earthquakes, or volcanic eruption. Mudslides develop when water rapidly accumulates in the ground and result in a surge of water-saturated rock, earth, and debris. One of the main causes of landslide is the road construction. And that's all for today. Thank you.